Hi guys, my name is Paul Linders. My family's been trading in Smithfield, which is a cool part of Dublin City, for the last 75 years. And I want to talk to you for a couple of minutes about how we might be able to help Airbnb find their Dublin home. We're in a position, thankfully, we control quite a lot of space around Smithfield in the city centre of Dublin. We're in a position to offer phase one space to allow you to start up straight away. But most importantly, we're in a position to modulate our space as you guys grow. We can simultaneously be working on phase two, which I believe, having spoken to George for a while, would be about 20,000 square feet by June next year. Most importantly, we can do it in a part of the city that's very cool, very real. It's got a huge history and legacy in the city. There's cool bars, cool places to eat, and it's only a mile away from the exact centre of Dublin City. Smithfield. Smithfield is just down the river from O'Connell Bridge or Temple Bar or some of the places that people might know. It's also just across the river from the digital hub, which would be Dublin's version of Rocket Space or something, the Hatchery or something along those lines. It's connected to the rest of the city in a number of different ways. It's about a 10-minute walk. There are zip cars or go cars, we call it in Dublin, and they're the Dublin bikes, which can be picked up and dropped off in various different locations. There's also Lewis Light Rail, which means that you're minutes away from anywhere else in the city. It's over time, it has become, for good or bad, it has become the legal district of the city. Most of the city's courts are located around there. But there's also lots of museums. There's the largest urban park in Europe in the Phoenix Park. You see it there in the middle of the picture, which is a fabulous place to keep fit or just wander around. And as you'll see from some of the pictures there, Smithfield is also pretty visually striking. It began back in the 1600s as a trading place for cattle, horses, hay, pretty much anything you could get. It also began as the location where most of the whiskey distilling was done in Ireland. Most famously, obviously, the Jameson distillery, where everybody's heard of. That chimney in the middle was the old Jameson Whiskey Tower, or the Whiskey Chimney rather, and it's where the Jameson Museum is still located today. And those lamps along the left are called gas braziers, and they can each be lit. Ireland is in trouble at the moment, so we can't really afford to light them. Apparently it costs about $200 to light each one. But I'll show you some of the pictures later on of some of the concerts that were held there and ice rinks they put there at Christmas when they light the lamps, and it's very, very striking. Smithfield is a landmark part of Dublin City. It has a huge trading legacy. It's become, especially recently with Ireland and Dublin's very well publicised downturn, it's become a very young and dynamic neck of the woods. There's a lot of artists hanging out there for reasons of low rent, but also of cool spaces. It's become a hotbed of creative and cultural activity. Over the coming years, the Dublin Institute of Technology, which is probably the third biggest institution or university type institution in the city, they're moving to Smithfield. They have about 38 different locations in the city, and they're getting together in a place called Grangegorman, which is, if you look at the map there, it's about an inch north of that kind of dash orange line, which will bring a lot of dynamism, a lot of youth, and obviously an availability of young talent, we hope, and the transport links I've mentioned. There are Friday markets, Christmas markets, the ice rink you'll see down in the right-hand corner there, which, depending on the weather, can be absolutely lovely. There is, in short, about 50,000 square feet, and I've plucked that number out of the sky, to be honest, but there is a huge amount of different locations and a huge amount of arts collectives and community collectives that are there. It's become a very edgy and bohemian part of town. But who works here? I have concentrated here on the more creative industries. Brown Bag Films, who were Oscar nominated. Block T, I think I mentioned on the slide before, which is a group of just cool people who put together an arts collective, and they now have about 30 or 40,000 square feet. They hold skill set workshops, courses. They have a dark room, photography sessions. They do their own screen printing and lots of cool stuff like that. And they have studio space for painters, graphic designers, etc., etc. Element Pictures, you might have seen the movie The Guard with Don Cheadle and Brendan Gleeson, also The Wind That Shakes the Barley. Obviously Jameson, everybody will have heard of that. They also sponsor their own film festival. The Complex are a local theatre group, and the Lighthouse Cinema, you'll see the pictures in the bottom left, is the coolest cinema in Dublin by quite a measure. There's also some good eating and drinking. There's some great bars, really great bars. The Cobblestone in the top right there is one of the best music bars in the city. The Dice Bar on the other side there is a kind of craft beer with particularly cool music. You see in the middle of the picture there, that's Edge, when U2 got the freedom of the city, they performed in Smithfield. You see the gas braziers I mentioned all lit there. There have also been some other very, very cool concerts like the Buena Vista Social Club, Manic Street Preachers, and some less cool concerts like the Chorus, but I won't go into detail there. And you'll see some pictures there of various places around the square. Generator Hostel above, which are open about 2 years, have 588 beds, which is a super place. And quite a little hive of activity. But eating and drinking is good around there. It's a good fun place to hang out. DIT, as we'd call them, a Dublin Institute of Technology I mentioned beforehand, they are underway at the moment. The first kids will be on the ground in 2014 in September, and they aim to be fully complete by 2018 rather, and we're looking forward to that. So how can we help Airbnb? We would like to partner with you, however soft and fluffy that might sound, but we are looking to, because of the links with the Digital Hub close by and the DIT, the Institute of Technology, coming to the space, we are looking to try and bring the creativity that exists there already into the high-tech startup arena, and we'd love to do that with Airbnb. We feel if we can do something together to combine you with the local creatives, Brown Bag Films, Boombox, and some pretty cool activity there, that others will follow, and we like the idea of making Smithfield that kind of space. As I briefly mentioned at the start of this, we're in a position to give you space for immediate occupation. George looked at the Distillers building. There's some slides coming up which show some kind of decent pictures of it. It's the old Jameson Distillery headquarters, by the way. It's a building of great character, lovely raw stone. But simultaneous to that, we can be preparing Block B, and there's just some plans to the right there that we've had previously drawn up which show what could be done in the space. But as you'll see from the pictures that are coming in a moment, it's a very cool space, but it's a blank canvas. Anything can be done with it. In short, we'd love to work with you and grow as you do. Now you'll have to forgive me, I watched some of your stuff on YouTube, and mine is pretty agricultural in comparison, but you've got to start somewhere. So look, I'd love to meet up. I'd love to introduce you to some of the people that are living and working in the area at the moment. George mentioned that you might be around, and we can certainly hook that up. If you want to get in touch with me in the meantime, my details are there, paul@linders.ie. My cell phone is, if you're dialing from Ireland, 086 381 6858. There's a couple of websites there from some of the pictures that I showed as to where it's good to eat and drink if you want to have a look. Otherwise, I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.